Check in the box. Yep, coming down. Yeah, definitely bearish. 1735 is support on this thing. This is a pretty nice short. Very nice short on Jack in the box. Right there. So you got some support over here at about 1914. That was yesterday's candle. This morning, I guess. Yeah, this morning. That was the open. So that was the low of the day on Jack. Low of the day is 1914. So it's pretty close. Nice short setup though on Jack in the box. Very nice short setup. Morning, Blake. Good morning. Bet going against me here down to about 93.53. Again, I got a 92.87 in here, level that I'm interested in. If it holds that, I'm going to stay in this. Probably going to stay in it anyway. I think that this thing is going to bounce. Right there. Trader Midas, how am I still in? Are you still in S-bet? It's pulling back now. Yeah, I see it. I got a level of 92.87 that I'm interested in. Yesterday's high was 92.87. If it holds yesterday's high 92.87, I stay in the trade. Okay. Good morning, Evan. Good morning. SPY again, very choppy market here. SPY came down here pretty hard, right to the 8. The 8 exponential moving average on the daily was right there, and it bounced right back up to the pivot point, and now we're just stuck in between the VWAP and the pivot point. Very similar to trading on yesterday. So I'm sitting right on the VWAP again. SBET getting down below that 92.87 level. Well, briefly. Just bounced right above it again. Again, I'm just watching these candles, but I'm not going to get out of here right now. SPY coming in. One thing I'm looking for on SBET, by the way, is that the recent 5-minute candles have been much lower volume than what we've been getting on the move. So I'm looking for a big volume candle at some point in time. We had a bunch yesterday. We had a few this morning, and I'm just waiting to see what happens. I think a big volume candle will push it way down or push it way up. So we'll just wait to see what happens. Should I looking at Google for a potential short? Yeah. Yeah. Obviously it's got to break through the 8, and it's got the 15 below there, and it's got some horizontal support at 169.15. Kind of clustered as far as the support levels there. Again, I wouldn't. If it breaks below the 8, you got to be careful because the 15 is right there and 166.49 right there. So kind of a lot of clustered support down there below where it is right now, and clustered resistance above. That's why I don't like to trade stocks that have got a lot of resistance right above them and a lot of support just below them. Just my opinion. SBET now broken down below the 92.87. So if you're in the trade and you want to take your losses, this is probably a good place to do it. I've just shares of this, so I'm likely going to hold on to it in case we and turn it into at least a short-term swing. Again, I'm waiting to see if we get some volume on the thing. It could retrace a lot, of course. It's got, it's got quite a bit of room. On that candle yesterday was down, which was $29. But again, I'm basically price this for a risk on this thing that it's if I max lose, I don't care. And when I consider BLRX as a Momo long play above $7.60, BLRX. Yeah, looks like a pretty good setup. I don't have any. Um, I gotta see what the float is on that. Yeah, that BLRX. The only thing I don't why I wouldn't consider it a Momo, even though the options is the volume is very very high. It's got a huge amount of float, 2.2 billion shares of float. So that negates it from being actually one of the stocks I would use for Momo. But the price action is obviously momentum. Got a lot of momentum on the price action. But if the float doesn't qualify, I have to have something with a small amount of float relative to how many shares is traded. It's traded a lot of shares. I mean, this is a big huge gap up on it today with a lot of volume, but 17 million shares. But it's got a couple billion of float. So that's why I don't consider it one. Okay, it's about 11:30. Again, another pretty slow day today. The market pulled down to the 8, moved up to the pivot point, moved back down to the VWAP, and it's just moving sideways here right now. Again, we did take profits in SMCI this morning, small profits. I think it was a pretty good exit. It's trading at 40.07 right now. And so we get out at a profit, which is all I really wanted to do today because there wasn't a big move in SMCI because NVIDIA didn't move very much. So SMCI, we get out at $3, $2.90 to $3. It's $2.51 right now, so I think was probably a pretty good exit. Carvana 325, 327.50 is actually profitable at this point as the stock hits about 325. Carvana, very nice move in Carvana today. Wished I had more time on it, but again, I got a 325, 327.50. Paid about $1 for it. It's going for just a little over $1 right now. Okay, Suzanne, I talk through your process for choosing an option strike. Example, bull day trade. Okay, you're talking about a day trade on Palantir, but you've got to be careful here as far as what options you take, because you don't really want to take today's options. This is a nice breakout in Palantir today. It isn't broke through the high yet, but it's a nice breakout. So let's look at the option chain on it. All right, let's look at Palantir on the option chain. Now, if you were taking today's, you'd be doing what's called a lottery. A lotto, you're looking for a move. Like if you're going to do a lotto on Palantir, it's trading at 130.05. You can take $130 calls, and they're $1.15 by $1.20, and that's basically pretty expensive for those are basically in the money by 7 cents. So you're mostly paying premium on that. So if I was going to trade this for a day trade today and not a lotto, and I wouldn't do a lotto till later in the day, I would take next week's calls, and I would be in the money on them. So it's about $130 right now. So I would take next week's calls. Some probably the 128s or the 129s. Probably the 128s. I take the 128s for next week. The 212 by 225. You get $1.65 of intrinsic value in there. So that's what I would take. Whoops, I'm on the wrong expiration date. Next week's 129s. Next week 128s. 515 by 525. So pretty expensive. Palantir moves a lot, so it's going to be expensive. If you're taking today's, if you want to take it today's, you're going to take a lotto on this thing. Frankly, what I would do, I would buy the 131s. I'd take an out of the money call for $60 to $64 a contract, 131. And in case it keeps moving up today and gets into 131, those will profit very nicely, and you've got a lot less risk on it. So that would be a Momo trade. So 131s for expiring today, or if you're going to want to give yourself a little bit of time on it, next week's 128s for 520 to 535. Right? I think that's the question you were asking. I don't feel comfortable about going with lottos at all right now because I don't know what the market's going to do. This Palantir right here. But you notice it's already got to 131. So if it's bullish, if it does turn bullish today, it could easily get into 131, which is where your strike is for the $64, $65 price on it. So just get it cheap and watch Palantir right now. It's pulling back. I wouldn't. You want to make sure it bounces off the 15. If it falls below here, you want to wait till it gets down to the VWAP and bounces. Next week, one strike in the money. Yeah, that's what I would suggest, unless you want to do a lottery on it. But you know, it, Palantir's been this is the way Palantir's set up. But I'm sure you've looked at the daily chart. So here's your move up here. Nice move up, big volume, bull flag, comes down, gets expended from the 8, waits for the 8 to catch up with it. It goes down again. Here's the 8, going through the 8, supporting on the 15, going through the 8, supporting on the 15, supporting on the 15, supporting on the 15, supporting on the 15. Now bouncing up. But you want to see this thing break through, but that's what you're looking for. And you really want this thing to break out above that level right there by first part of next week or so to stay long on this thing. So that's what I would take if you like it long. And it's a good setup. It's a PBO. But it's been very choppy here the last 5 or 6 days. And I don't know if you're going to have any market tailwind at all. That's the problem. Market's important. We don't really getting anything with the market. Oops. Let's put the SPY in there. There we go. Welcome, Suzanne. Very welcome. Carvana pulling back a little bit. SPY, don't know what it's doing. Still waiting for SBET to show me some volume. It hasn't shown me any volume here right now. It's trading at 91.70 again. 92.87 was the level I wanted to see it hold. It fell below it. I'm still holding it, however. Hey, morning, WMB. Good morning. SPY still coming in a little bit. pretty good drop in the SPY here again. The 8 exponential is down below again here, and that 8 exponential is right at 587. 587. So about 50 cents lower would be another test of the 8 exponential moving average. And I'm watching the SPY to see what it does at the 8, which is at 587. Here it was here this morning. Right down to it. Pretty much just went slightly through it. SPY get down pretty close to the 8 again with a bounce. Come right up to the VWAP. SPY pull back right to the, just very close to the 8 again, and then bouncing. Again, we're coming back up to the VWAP again in the SPY after coming down and getting very close to the 8 again. Apple just all over the place here. Apple on the daily chart, it's sitting right on the 100-day, oh, sorry, wrong one. ALPL, there it is. Yeah, 197.91 was support on Apple. 197.91. Get very down, very close to that this morning. Right down in there. WMB, when it comes to price action, you think you get it better, but it can't quite articulate it. Is it really just experience? Yeah, for the most part, learning to read price action really well just takes time. I mean, you obviously get better and get better at it, but nobody's perfect at it. You can't read price action perfect. There's too many things involved. But yeah, it is really experience for price action. Heaven, can you share your recent trade along with your plan, and could you give me some insight into whether my thinking is correct? It's not too much to ask. Yeah, go ahead. Put it out there, and I'll look at it. Coming up at 12 o'clock here pretty soon. Gonna have lunch probably around 12:15 to 12:30. SPET just not doing me any favors here. Again, no volume on this thing. Really, the volume is dried up completely on this pullback. So the pullback's coming on, but there's no volume driving it. Carvana approaching the 325 level again. SPY failing to get through the VWAP here. VWAP holding it down. It's wrong. How's the day been? Just took a final exam this morning. Day's been not much to trade, actually. It's all right, very little to trade. I have no lottos yet, Ali. I don't know what the market's going to do. I'm going to wait for later in the day before I take any lottos. You got to have some market movement here to help you with lottos. I mean, you can get lottos that'll work even if the market doesn't, but it's a lot better if you can determine if you're going to get like a pull down in the market, then a bounce, or a bounce in the market, then a pullback that you can then lean on either a long or a short to use with the market direction. Yes, Sarang, the market's been not much. We did take profits in our SMCI this morning, just a small profit, $2.90. I get out at $3, but get to about 312 and then pull back. So we were able to at least scratch it with a little bit of a profit in it. Tesla ran right up to a resistance level this morning, 364.07, very close to it. Got as high as 363.68, so almost right to the resistance level that they're pulling back. It's stuck right in the middle of between two levels. It's coming up on an 8 and another support level. This is Tesla right here. Again, this is why I can't really trade it in this level. I mean, you see how it hasn't been able to get through that 364.07 right there. That's actually a pretty good place. If I saw it, I would have shorted it up there. But again, you only got room down to the 8 right here, so it's a pretty tight range. And 8 is moving up into this void as well. So the price action even gets tighter and tighter on it. SPY coming in. Apple coming in. Still looking at Carvana. Carvana trying to hold around 325. SPY coming in here now. So the SPY's got to hold that 8 exponential moving average. The 587 needs to hold. The breakdown below there would give us room down to the 15, which is from the 8 to the 15. The 15 is at 582.70. So from 587 to 582, it's about $5 to the downside from the 8 to the 15. So we'll just wait and see. Okay, Heaven, here's your trade. You shorted Kava at 79.71. Let me bring up my Kava daily chart. $79.71. Okay, you're talking about today. All right. $79.71 on the 11.25 candle. Okay, as it broke below the VWAP, basically. Using the daily EMA is just technical stop. Let me look. Daily. The 8. Okay, that's up around 80, a little over 83.50. You're planning to take profit if it approaches the low of March 13th. All right. Go back to March 13th. All right. And that is 73.91. Okay. This sounds like solid thinking. It's like this is an approach I can improve on and develop my trading further. Well, let me show you my Kava chart first of all. And it definitely it's definitely a short. I mean, it's definitely a short setup here. The thing I have that you probably don't have is these high volume lines. There's a high volume line right here in Kava at 79.03. All right, 79.03, and then down here 74.26. Those are the high volume lines I've got on Kava. All right, so we don't have any. Notice there's been no high volume candles here the last few days. So his one here at 79.03, which is the top of this candle, bottom of that candle. Those are high volume candles. That's the next support level that I see, which is pretty close. It's about 70 cents away. Then you've got another one down here at 74.26. Now there's obviously other levels in here that could also be support. Typically the bottom of this candle here could also be used, 77. So you've got some resistance, you've got some support chomped in here. But this is the one you've got to see it break below. If it doesn't break below that 79.03, then you may get a bounce here. And you know, they've had some high volume candles coming down, but now the volume's dropping off, and you're starting to get back into this area. So that would be my concern. That 79.03 needs to break below there. If it breaks below there, I would say you're okay down to about 74.26. All right, and I think the logic is fine behind it. I think the structure of what you were looking at is fine. Again, you don't have the high volume candles. Most people don't. I have those, so that I use those. But I think your thinking is pretty solid on it. Thoughts on Etsy? Jelly? Etsy? Yeah, it's a nice bullish move here. It's getting a little extended. 56.60. 56.60 is the resistance on Etsy right up here. 56.60. Put $1.30 to the upside, but it's getting a little extended from this 8. And that's a pretty fairly parabolic move right here, right? So I personally would not be chasing this thing up here. I would wait for a pullback. Notice it's gone through the 200. What you're looking for is a test back to the 200 and then a bounce. Okay, that's my feeling on Etsy. SPY pretty much right off the 8 again, bouncing. SPY bouncing again back up above the VWAP. This is very similar to yesterday's move between the VWAP and the pivot point. Just not much going on here. It's gonna be a good time to have lunch here pretty soon. SPY really choppy. You notice you're not really putting in lower lows. You put a lower low here, a lower low here, and now we're putting in a higher low. It's all over the place. Very choppy. Okay, Jelly on Etsy waiting for a pullback. Yeah, I would. I wouldn't chase it up there. You know, you don't have any market tailwind to help you here, and it's extended. I mean, it's extended on the daily chart. It could keep going. It could go right to 56.60 and keep going. Listen, stocks can always keep moving, but the thing is, we're trading. We're trying to trade probabilities, and when a stock gets extended from the 8, there's a very high probability that it's going to revert back to that, either by moving sideways as the 8 moves up or pulling back. And you know, that alone takes away your criteria for a high probability trade. Evan, you do use the high volume candlesticks, okay, and they come up almost exactly the same as mine. Yeah, listen, a lot of times it's there is some subjectiveness in this thing, in these lines, because you've got a lot of have, like I showed you all those mixed high volume lines that were on that chart for the stock that you were looking at for, right? So for Kava, it's there is some subjectiveness that goes into that, but I think you should give them more. I think you should give them more weight. Yeah, I mean, looking for places where the stock is going to find support or find resistance, they're pretty useful. Doesn't mean they just won't break right through them. But when you're putting together a trading plan, you know, your trading plan probably, if you're going short, you probably want to see how much room you've got to that next support level in the high volume candles or any of the other support levels it's got, and make sure that the return on the trade is going to be good enough to justify it. How do I feel about trading gold, Sergio? Well, I mean, GLD, I trade it when there's a good setup. Listen, gold is an 80. It trades all over the world, so it's very gappy. All right, in case you hadn't noticed, pretty gappy. You can see that a lot of the moves in gold, if you look, what happens is it gaps up and then it doesn't do anything. Notice it just goes sideways. Right now, today we had here a big gap up day before yesterday, and not much movement. And today we're just this day we're coming back down. Here we are over here, gap up, no movement, and then a nice movement, and then here a gap up, then a gap down. So this is how gold trades. And how do I feel about it right now? Look where it's at. It's right at the 8 and the 15. It could go either way. It could go back down here to the 50-day moving average, or it could jump up. So I don't really have any great confidence to trade gold, and I don't think, you know, I'm not a gold bug. I don't think it's going to go to $12 million or an ounce or something. I just trade the technicals on it. But this is pretty hard technicals to trade, because if you get a big gap down like you got here, see, if you went here and you took it short, you're basically going to be out the next day, and then you get another gap down. So if you took it short here, it bounced right again. So this is really hard to trade a stock that gaps and then doesn't move a lot. I mean, you get a lot of gap ups and then nothing, a lot of gap downs and then nothing. So you unless you're holding it overnight and you get the direction right, it's very difficult to trade them. SPY pulling back. SBET's still pulling back on me. Down about $20 a share on this thing right now. But no volume. I mean, the volume is just dead on this thing. 43,000 shares the last 5-minute candle. That's nothing. Here, I'm going to take SBET off. I'm not going to leave it out here anymore. I don't like this candle. This is a little bit higher volume and it's coming in. Okay, so I'm out of SBET. I'm going to watch it, but I don't like this. I am getting a high volume candle here on the current 5-minute chart, and it's a bearish one. So I was waiting to see some volume. I'm getting volume, and the volume is pushing it the wrong direction, so I'm not going to hang around in it. I'll watch it again for later on today.
I'm going to see Buddy.
Oh, really? Was somebody over there today?
Buddy is, but I'm just gonna go say hi.
All right. You might want to drive over. It's pretty hot.
Is it?
Hey, Google, what's the dew point in James Island?
Right now in James Island, South Carolina, the dew point is 66.
66. It's not unbearable.
What?
It's 66 dew point. It's not unbearable. Hey, Google, what's the heat index in James Island?
Currently in James Island, South Carolina, the heat index is 85.
85. That's not too bad.
Huh?
85 heat index. That's not terrible. I haven't been out, so I don't know. All right, be careful.
Alright.
Everything straightened out with Luma?
Huh?
Everything straightened out with Luma?
No, but we're better. Everybody's struggling.
I'm gonna grab lunch here in a minute. It's about 12:20. Chai took $2.5 contract with some Tesla puts for the rejection. Yep, and 50 cents in some Google puts. Yeah, we got close to the 8 on the SPY, for sure. A couple times we tested the 8 this morning. Yeah, it's coming back to it again. Again, 587 is the 8. So we're basically right at it right now, right on the 8. Apple coming in, and Tesla also coming in here. Market getting pretty weak here all of a sudden. Again, we're putting in a new low right now. SPY right on the 8 exponential moving average. Yeah, it's very hard to trade this market, Shy. Very, very hard. I mean, it's scalping. I mean, that's really what this is. Am I going to short the SPY here? Not sitting right on the 8. I got to see it. It's got to break through and confirm before I can take it short. I mean, I have a lot of stocks coming right up on support right now to the downside. Tesla's got some room to the downside. Not a lot, 347.03. But you know, that's $9 for Tesla to the downside from here. But it's coming right up on the 8. So it's just, there's just too many close support and resistance levels. I can't really jump into anything here. All I can do is jump into lunch. Again, I took my S-bet trade off on that larger than normal volume on the downside. That when I see it flush down on volume, then that's a signal for me to get out of the trade, take my loss. Good choice, long lunch, yeah, probably. Again, SPY coming right down here to the VWAP. Low on the SPY today, 586.40. 586.40. Basically the 8 exponential moving average. Right now we're trading just slightly above that. A break below there would give us a new low of the day. All right, I'm gonna get some lunch. I'll come back and see what the SPY looks like. As it right now breaking down pretty hard. Again, this is the low of the day right here. Low of the day on the SPY. It's a pretty big flush here in the SPY. I don't know, I don't see any news except Jamie Dimon's talking, and says he's going to see a crack on the bond market. And we're going to have U.S. plans wider China tech sanctions. So again, these are negative things right now. Market's coming in. It's gotten well below the 8 now. Well below the 8. 583.92 next support on the SPY. All right, gonna get some lunch. Milad, you like these streams? They're excellent to learn from. Thoughts on Apple short? Apple's a short right now. 197.91 was support. It's heading down. Yeah, so it's a good short right now. Apple's got room down to about 193. I think it's funny. All I can do is jump into lunch. You like that one? Appreciate it. Okay, Heaven, yeah, thank you. You're welcome. Hope you can ask questions before a lot of viewers. Because a lot of questions. Yeah, you can also join my room, and you can answer them over there, and you can be sure you'll get answers to them. Okay, so, alrighty, I'm gonna get some lunch. Thanks everybody for being here. I appreciate all of the questions, all the comments, and again, if you're interested in joining my room, or you're interested in this SPY Super System software, which is outstanding, let us know what institutions are doing. You can go to rightlinetrading.com, and all the information is right there. Okay, listen, have a great weekend, everybody on YouTube. I'll see everybody here on Monday. I will be starting a vacation next Friday. A week from today, I'll be out of here. I'll be gone for a week. All right, heading up to, I'm in South Carolina, or heading up to Vermont for some relaxation. Haven't had a vacation in a couple of years, so time to take one. Last vacation I went on was to Iceland 2 years ago, which was beautiful, beautiful trip. All right, we'll see everybody on Monday. Have a great weekend, all the YouTube folks. And for everybody else, I'm going to get some lunch.